have two wonderful people here to talk to you about after the dogs have been delivered and ready to leave their mom and go to a puppy raiser home. These are two of the most wonderful people in the world that do this job. Without them, we would not have a program. They do it all voluntarily. They spend a ton of time, and we just can't thank them enough. So I just wanted to say that before they started their spiel, because they are just so appreciated and give us gifts that we can never repay. So the first, the Puppy Raiser Club is from Buena Park, I want to say.
I live in Buena Park, but we're from the North Orange County. We're the Brea Area Adult Raisers Club, so we're known as BARK in the guide book. We're known as the Brea Area Adult Raisers Club, so in guide dog world, we're known as the BARK Raisers. So every group has their own particular name.
Right. I want to think there's 6 actually in Orange County.
I believe that's right.
So,
Patty for asking us to come here also. My name's Gail Minard, and I am the group leader for the Brea Area Adult Raisers Club, and I've been puppy raising with guide dogs for 20 years.
wow.
So it's a love affair, I must admit. Dominique is my 10th or 11th dog, I believe.
Wow.
Typically, if you were interested in puppy raising, you would join a group in your area. You would attend training meetings, business meetings, and outings to help prepare you in what guide dogs wants their dogs to learn before they are recalled. Once you are comfortable with that training, then your leader would do a home visit to your house to check out your home and your yard to make sure it's somewhat puppy-proof. Then you would typically submit your application. You would get a puppy between the ages of 8 and 10 weeks of age. So it starts very, very young. Dominique was 11 weeks when I got her, and how old was Macho?
I think Macho was about like 9 weeks.
Yeah. It's nice when they are a little older. It's a little easier to transition that housebreaking. Once they have all their shots, which is at 4 months old, then they're able to go out into the community and go on different outings. Everything is done gradual introduction to the grocery store, movie theaters, mall outings, gyms. Anywhere that you think that your dog would go as a guide dog is where we like to take our dogs also. So on our group outings, we just did the Fullerton Airport days. We took them all to the airport. We've taken them to the movies. Mary and I, every Tuesday, go and exercise at the Brea Mall, and our dogs lay quietly at our feet. So that's that type of socialization that they get, and continuous training. Then between the ages of 15 and 18 months, your dog is recalled back to the campus. Ours would be the San Rafael campus. When Dominique and Macho are recalled, they will both be going in on breeder evaluations to see if Guide Dogs wants to put them in their breeding colony. Yes, I know. You're so cute. So if they're chosen to be a breeder, then they are matched with a breeder custodial family, and they live off campus. And then they only go to campus when they're going to be bred. The girls typically will have up to 5 litters. The boys, they'll go till they're 10 years of age. Yeah, as long as they're good, then they're continue on in the breeding department. If they're not chosen for the breeding, then they are spayed or neutered, and then they're put into training. And the training usually lasts about 2 months. So by the time the dog is ready to be paired with a visually impaired person, they're close to 2 years old.
We're out working with these puppies in training. A lot of times people don't realize that these dogs are actually considered to be working at that point. So I would just like to say that, you know, it's nice for you to ask if you can pet the dog, but it's almost better just to send good wishes to the dog and let them continue to do their work, because they're puppies, they're easily distracted, and so that's something I think is just good for everybody to know.
Yeah, and just on another note, if a dog is released from the guide dog program, Guide Dogs does have a partnership with 15 other service dog agencies, from autism to hearing to veterans. So there's a lot of search and rescue. Dogs for Diabetics. Mary's last dog was released from Guide Dogs. All the way through training he went. He just had a weird little thing that could be perceived differently for the blind person. So being the excellent dog that Aiden is, he was picked up by the Dogs for Diabetic program, and we just got word last week that he has been accepted into that program and has begun his training with them. So when he completes his training, Mary will go up north to Dogs for Diabetics, and he'll have a graduation there.
So we do get to see the dogs again once we put them on the bus and they go off to Guide Dogs training school. We are invited to go to the graduation. We are able to meet the person that they're partnered with, and sometimes we even continue to have emails from the Guide Dogs person that they're partnered with, and stay in touch, even visit.
What on earth does the guide dog do for a diabetic?
So the question is, what does a guide dog do for a diabetic?
The guide dog has been released from the guide work, and he's been picked up by the Dogs for Diabetic. So he's being scent trained for a particular individual to alert when their blood sugar drops too low. Then he will alert them, and then they'll test. And, yeah.
How do you train a dog if a dog has to go outside to do his business?
Okay, the question is, how do you train a dog if they have to go outside to do their business? With us, we're starting at 8 weeks of age. And these dogs need to do their business on command. So as you're taking them out as a little dog, after they wake up from anything and everything, the minute they are relieving, you're telling them, good boy, good girl, doing your business, good girl, doing your business. They finally get that. You know, with the repetition, they learn that do your business means to relieve. I teach mine to do their business and to do their big business. So they do know the difference, because I have very smart dogs. So that's how they learn. And eventually, anytime before we leave anywhere, go out and do your business. And they are relieved on a leash to start with. In the middle of the morning in the pouring rain, they go out. I may use a long line to do that, but I'm not standing out there in the rain with them. Is there anything else? Yes.
When you train your dogs, do you give them treats to reward them?
When we train our dogs, we do use, it's actually their food, it's their kibble, and Guide Dogs is on a food-based reward system. It's called the R-positive training. So when they are doing good behavior, like right now Dominique is laying here quietly, that's when she would be rewarded for her calm behavior. So they're learning, it's all positive-based, but it's their food, so it's part of their allocation for the day. She's on 4 cups, so I just put a little in the bait bag and give her little treat. But it's their kibble, it's not anything additional. Yes?
I've seen TV where the people are out in the city with the dog, and the dog's supposed to take them to wherever they want to go. How does the dog know?
You know, that is part of their mobility training, and I think Derek or Patty can speak to that better than I can. I mean, I have some knowledge, but she has much more. Once our dog is gone through the 8 phases of training, then it's ready for a partner. They're considered class ready, and at that point, that is when Patty would come in and start her training, her 2-week training with her dog.
The particular school that we train for, Guide Dogs for the Blind, uses 3 kinds of dogs, really. You'll see Dominique is a golden retriever, and we have Labrador retrievers, both yellow and black, and then they use crosses between the 2 because they've had very good results with those dogs. So I know there are other schools that will use poodles and some use German shepherds, but Guide Dogs has settled on these breeds as being the breed that they have the best luck with, really not luck, but yes, results.
What happens if another dog, and say you're taking the dog out for a walk, and there's an odd dog, another dog, that gives him a lot of trouble? What does he do?
Okay, if we're out walking and another dog gives our dog a little trouble, we are going to stop walking and just keep our dog on a heel and try to distract our dog from interacting with that dog, and probably have a few words with the raiser on the other end to keep their dog more under control. That's it. Mary, would you?
Anyway, Mary's dog is a lab, and Gail's dog is a golden retriever, and my dog is a cross. So my Derica is 50% lab and 50% golden retriever. So, you know, we have everything that Guide Dog has to offer here. Well, I think I'll start out by just talking a little bit about myself, which I really have trouble doing, but I think it's the best way to take you through a journey of what one person does after the puppy raisers. We call it take their puppies or their dogs to college. They go off to college in San Rafael. We do have the campus in Portland, Oregon, but that's not the main campus. They have a much bigger campus, and they're working on a new puppy facility up there as well, and everything is just gradually being developed, and it's going to be a state-of-the-art program, so it's really going to be nice. And just so the puppy raiser knows, I've heard that they're going to start trying to do like housebreaking or relieving as they are with their mother as really, really tiny puppies. So hopefully that'll make it easier for everybody. Because that's one of the hardest parts, whether you have these fabulous dogs that you are raising or whether you have your own dog. It's just a really hard thing to accomplish sometimes. So anyway, so once they go off to college, they work with puppy trainers, which are also O&M, orientation and mobility specialists. And it's part of their job, so they take a group of puppies and they actually fine-tune, I guess you would say, the training up there. And they work on a few little things that may need to be readdressed or, reinforced in some way. And, but they pretty much do it the same way that the puppy raisers are trained to do it. Once they get through there, then they are ready to be paired with, I guess you'd call us clients. So anyway, I'm going to shift back just a minute because I went to Guide Dogs for the Blind and got Derica in 2010. I had a retina detachment and I only had one eye that was good, and so that retina detachment came in that good eye, go figure. And so I lost my sight in 2009. And it was pretty traumatic, yes. Because I was a teacher and I had to leave my job. I could no longer manage 36 kindergartners or, any of the things that I like to do. I had to totally change my life. So I thought, what better way to change my life, than with a wonderful, loving dog. So I went to Braille Institute, first of all, and got some fairly good mobility training, because you really need to have some pretty strong mobility training cues when you apply for a dog. Because the dog will take you wherever you want to go, but you have to know where that is. They don't know. If you say, take me to the bank, take me to the market, they just look at you and wag their tail. They have no idea what you're talking about. So, anyway, so you've got to be pretty mobility ready. And the trick or the key to this mobility test is not probably in your own area. It's getting into a different area, and then you have to, first of all, remember where you're going and be able to direct your dog. So that's a lot of what they work on when you go up to Guide Dogs for the Blind. They keep you there for 2 weeks, and honest to gosh, it is like boot camp. I mean, you work and you work and you work and you work. You walk all day, you sit in meetings and orientation kinds of things and strategy building kinds of things at night. And I can remember sitting in these meetings and thinking, the dogs are all asleep. That's not fair. We need to go to sleep, because we were all exhausted. And being that that was my first dog and my first, exposure to guide dogs in general, other than just seeing them out and about, it was just an amazing and sort of grueling program. But it's so important, and it really, really worked out well, because you do, in those short 2 weeks, get to know the dog that they have picked for you. And you bond with that dog, because you're with them 24 hours a day. I'm going to back up just a little bit, because the first 2 days when you get there, you don't have a dog. And they spend a lot of time with you. There's a staff ratio of 2 students to 1 staff member. And so you work with a partner, and they figure out what your walking pace is. You know, they have a pretty good idea what your lifestyle is, whether you're going to, have the dog with you at all times, maybe under a desk for work, or maybe, you're going out and walking with the dog more because you're retired and you can have more time to just mess around, I guess. And so they kind of take into that all of these variables and see exactly what your needs are. And based on my very limited experience, they did, with the 8 students I was with, they did a fabulous job of matching everybody. You get to have a little input. You kind of get to talk about whether you want a golden retriever or a lab, or, and why you want them. You could kind of decide if you want a male or a female at the beginning. They don't guarantee it, but they try their best to meet your needs as well as your wants. So with Derica, I wanted a female, but at first I wanted a yellow lab, because I just thought, oh, I have dark floors at home, wood floors, and I thought, oh, it'll be great, I can see her then and everything. But I forgot about the part of the yellow dog hair on the dark floor, and the yellow dog hair on my black pants or jeans. And so the good Lord was with me, because Derica is black, and I am so glad now, because it's made my life a lot easier. So after the 2-week program, you get on a plane with your dog and you come home. And that was pretty scary to me. But anyway, you get on this airplane and you're flying home, and all of a sudden you're released in the world with this dog who you kind of know and you think loves you and you love it, but you're just not sure how you're going to do together. And I'll tell you, that was the longest plane ride I think I've ever taken. But anyway, we got home to John Wayne and we got off the plane and we met my husband and we came home and we went outside and kind of sat and talked and, introduced her to Rich, my husband, and it was just the best dog. She's never chewed up anything. She's never had an accident in the house. She's just been an angel dog. She is now close to 9 years old. She will be 9 years old in November. And she's getting, frankly, a little tired. I have just done the paperwork to put in for a new, I need to go and think about getting a new guide. I know all of you thinking, well, what's going to happen to Derica? Well, we could never, ever let her go. She will be with us forever. My husband would just have a stroke if something happened, if she had to go somewhere else. And I couldn't let her go either. And luckily we have the facilities where we can keep a dog. Some people don't, they're in a small apartment, and if you get 2 labs in a small apartment, there's not very much room for you. So, you kind of have to adjust your needs to what you can do as far as keeping your dog. Like it's been said, you can retire it and send it back to a puppy raiser, which a lot of them do take them back, isn't that right?
Yes,
Yeah.
I took 2 down.
Yeah, Gail's taken 2 back. So, and from what I heard, it's like there's no lapse, there's no adjustment period when they come back. It's like, oh, here I am. I remember this. Is that right, Gail?
It is, right.
So, anyway, so that's kind of the way it goes as far as the training. Now, let me tell you a little bit about what Derica's day and my day might be. She is a hugely social dog. She loves everybody. She loves all the dogs except for the ones that bark at her. She does not like to be barked at. So if a dog meets her and starts barking, she quickly turns them off. She does not want to have anything to do with them. She'll go smell somewhere or walk somewhere or do whatever. But she does take me. She's still very good about taking me where I need or want to go. She's a very good guide. She's not as thrilled to go to work as she used to be. Her walking pace is getting a lot slower. And she's getting a few gray hairs. So I don't think I caused them, but anyway. She is liking much more to kind of hang out and just look around and see what's going on and take a little snooze when she wants to. So she is getting close to retirement, I think. And I've kind of been researching it a little bit because I've never done this part before, because like I said, Derica's my first guide. So, and this is just about the age where they kind of tend to not be as interested. Some are less, some stop at 7, some stop at 10. I would like to keep Derica working as long as I can because I love her, I trust her, we have a really good communicative relationship, and you know, it's an old thing, if it works, don't fix it, try to fix it. The only thing that is a little hard is her walking pace is much slower, unless it's going to food, then she's a little bit faster. So, but at Guide Dogs, there have been, in the past few years, some long wait times to get a dog. And it's been up to a year to 18 months wait list. So I thought, okay, I'm looking at Derica being 9, and a year and a half, which would be the most, would be 10 and a half years old. And so I went ahead and did the paperwork and see what happens with that. There's an extensive amount of paperwork if you want to consider getting a guide dog or getting approved. You have a huge, massive medical bit of paperwork to do, and hopefully your doctor is dedicated enough to want to do that because it's a pretty big job. And then they come out and they send a couple of people to interview you at home, see where you live and where your dog will be and all of those kinds of things, something similar to what Gail was talking about even with puppy raisers. So they come out and they look at that and they talk to you about what your needs would be, what your wants would be, all of those kinds of things. And then you go out with them, either with a dog because you already have one, or with a cane, and you show them your mobility skills. And they want you to be able to cross a street with a signal and understand how traffic goes so that you go with the right amount of time. You don't go on a red light, you go on a green light. And then you pick a route that you want to go, and you leave your home and you go to the route, through the route, and come back home again. So they spend a good 3 hours with you when they come to visit you during that waiting time. And then they put all of their information together and decide if you qualify or not. Sometimes people do not. The reason they do not is because almost 100% of the time it's because they don't have adequate mobility skills. So they want you to, contact a O&M specialist, orientation or mobility, and get some better training so that you can work better with the dog.